Failure is often seen as something to be avoided, a mark of weakness or incompetence, but Barack Obama turns that perception completely around. He believes that failure is an essential part of success, a foundation for growth that strengthens our character and prepares us for greater challenges ahead. Every person who has achieved something remarkable has, at some point, stumbled, been rejected, or fallen short of their goals. What separates those who rise from those who stay defeated is how they interpret and respond to failure. Obama reminds us that setbacks are not signs to give up, but signals to adjust, learn, and improve. They are opportunities to build resilience and wisdom. When you fail, you are forced to reflect deeply on your choices, your habits, and your purpose. That reflection can ignite the transformation needed to reach the next level of success. In his own life, Obama experienced many moments that could have broken his spirit. Before becoming president, he lost political races, faced criticism, and endured moments when his vision for change was dismissed. Yet, those failures became the driving force behind his strength and discipline. Each disappointment taught him something valuable about leadership, humility, and persistence. It's easy to feel strong when things are going well, but real strength is tested when everything seems to fall apart. In those moments, the only thing that keeps you moving is the belief that your current failure is not your final story. Obama's perspective encourages people to accept failure not as an enemy, but as a teacher that often gives the most painful but most valuable lessons. The process of failing strips away ego and overconfidence. It teaches you what truly matters. When things don't go your way, you begin to see life in a more honest and grounded way. You stop pretending that success is about luck or talent alone and realize it's about persistence, patience, and the willingness to keep learning. Failure humbles you, and that humility allows you to connect with others on a deeper level. You start understanding that everyone struggles, everyone stumbles, and that truth builds empathy and character. Obama believes that acknowledging your failures openly doesn't make you weak. It makes you relatable and authentic. It gives your success a human dimension because it shows the world that you earned it. Growth doesn't come from comfort. When you succeed easily, you rarely grow because you aren't challenged to improve. But failure forces you to evolve. It reveals your weaknesses and pushes you to strengthen them. It shows you that progress is not a straight line, but a cycle of trial, error, and adaptation. This is why so many great leaders and innovators share a similar story. They failed repeatedly before they finally succeeded. Obama's message is a call to embrace those hard moments, to look at them as the building blocks of your future. Without failure, there's no real progress. Success achieved without struggle often fades quickly, but success born from failure lasts because it's built on the unshakable foundation of perseverance, learning, and self-belief. Persistence is the heartbeat of success, and Barack Obama's journey is a powerful testament to that truth. He has often said that what truly defines a person is not how many times they fall, but how many times they stand back up. Life will always test us with rejection, failure, and disappointment, but persistence is what transforms those trials into stepping stones. Obama's own path was not an easy one. He faced skepticism, political losses, and moments of deep uncertainty. Yet, through every setback, he refused to stop moving forward. That relentless determination became the foundation of his achievements. Persistence is not just about working hard. It's about maintaining faith in yourself when nothing seems to be working, about pushing through the noise of doubt and continuing to take action even when the results are invisible. The truth is, success rarely happens quickly. We often look at successful people and assume their rise was effortless, but what we don't see are the years of quiet struggle and perseverance behind the scenes. Obama reminds us that persistence means showing up every day, even when no one is watching, even when you're tired, frustrated, or scared. It means committing to your vision and taking one more step forward when everything inside you wants to quit. Persistence is the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who stop halfway. It's not about talent or luck, it's about endurance. Every great achievement, whether in politics, business, or art, has been built by people who refuse to give up. In Obama's speeches, he often tells young people that persistence gives your dreams a fighting chance. There will always be challenges, people who doubt you, moments that test your patience, and failures that shake your confidence. But if you persist, every small effort compounds into progress. Even when you don't see immediate results, every failure teaches you something that helps you get closer to success. Persistence trains your mind to focus on the long game rather than instant gratification. It builds mental toughness, a quality that is far more valuable than quick victories. When you persist, you learn to keep your emotions in check, to stay disciplined, and to trust the process. These are the traits that sustain success once it's achieved. Obama's persistence was rooted in purpose. He didn't keep going just to prove people wrong. He kept going because he believed in what he was doing. When you have a meaningful goal, something larger than yourself, it fuels your persistence. You stop worrying about how long it will take and start focusing on how much it matters. That sense of purpose turns challenges into motivation and failures into lessons. Obama teaches that persistence is not blind stubbornness, it's intelligent resilience. It's the courage to keep improving, adapting, and growing until your vision becomes real. The world will always test your resolve, but if you remain persistent, if you keep pushing despite the obstacles, you will eventually reach the success you've been working for. Persistence doesn't just lead to success, it transforms you into the kind of person who can handle it with strength, grace, and gratitude. Learning from mistakes is one of the most valuable abilities a person can develop, and Barack Obama often highlights this truth in his speeches. He believes that mistakes are not something to be ashamed of, but rather something to learn from and build upon. Every failure, every wrong decision, and every missed opportunity carries within it a lesson that can lead to wisdom if we are willing to reflect and grow. Obama's philosophy is that success is not about perfection, it's about progress. The people who achieve great things are not those who never make mistakes, but those who take responsibility for their errors and use them to become wiser, stronger, and more self-aware. Mistakes give us feedback that success cannot. When things go wrong, we are forced to look at ourselves honestly, to question our approach, and to find better ways of doing things. Obama's life and career have been filled with moments of self-reflection and learning. Early in his political journey, he made strategic and personal missteps, from underestimating the challenges of political campaigns to misjudging people's reactions to certain policies. Instead of letting those mistakes define him, he analyzed them carefully, identified what went wrong, and adjusted his strategy. That ability to adapt became one of his greatest strengths. He teaches that making a mistake is not failure, it's feedback. Each misstep gives us clues about what to do differently next time. This mindset turns failure into a source of growth rather than frustration. When you learn from mistakes, you begin to develop wisdom, the kind that only experience can teach. Obama often stresses that self-reflection is the key to learning effectively from mistakes. Too many people make the same errors repeatedly because they never take the time to pause and evaluate what happened. They either blame others or ignore the issue altogether. But true leaders, Obama says, take ownership. They ask hard questions. What could I have done differently? What did this situation teach me about myself or about others? That kind of introspection transforms a painful experience into a powerful teacher. Learning from mistakes builds emotional intelligence, humility, and resilience, qualities that define great leaders. It helps us recognize that failure is temporary, but wisdom gained from it lasts forever. There's also a deeper lesson Obama conveys about the power of vulnerability. Admitting mistakes requires courage. It shows maturity and self-confidence. When leaders or individuals own their failures, they create an environment of trust and authenticity. People respect those who are willing to say, "I was wrong," because it shows integrity and the willingness to grow. Obama often reminds us that even when we stumble, our value doesn't diminish. What matters most is how we respond. Mistakes shape us into more empathetic and grounded individuals. They teach us patience, perspective, and perseverance. Learning from them ensures that we evolve rather than repeat the same patterns. Ultimately, Obama's message is clear. Mistakes are not the opposite of success. They are part of it. Each one, if understood and accepted, brings you closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. And Barack Obama often speaks about how adversity is the force that shapes true courage. In his view, strength and bravery are not developed in times of comfort. They are forged in the fires of struggle, uncertainty, and hardship. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has faced moments of doubt and difficulty. But what sets them apart is their willingness to keep going when things get tough. Obama's own story is a powerful example of this truth. Rising from humble beginnings, facing racial prejudice, political opposition, and personal criticism, he learned early that adversity is not something to be avoided. It is something to be embraced as a teacher. Through every obstacle, he discovered new dimensions of resilience, patience, and faith in his purpose. Obama believes that adversity reveals who we truly are. When everything is going well, it's easy to appear confident and composed. But when challenges strike, when you're misunderstood, rejected, or struggling to stay afloat, that's when your true character shows. Adversity strips away comfort and illusion, leaving behind only what is real: your values, your beliefs, and your determination. It forces you to dig deeper, to find strength you didn't know you had. Obama encourages people to see difficult times not as punishments, but as opportunities to grow tougher and wiser. Every challenge carries a hidden lesson. When you overcome hardship, you gain a kind of inner confidence that no success or comfort can provide. You begin to understand that courage is not just about big, heroic acts. Sometimes it's about enduring quietly, showing up every day, and refusing to quit. In his speeches, Obama often points out that adversity helps build empathy and understanding. When you've struggled, you can relate to the pain of others. You become more compassionate, more human. This is why leaders who have faced real challenges tend to lead with greater heart and humility. They know what it means to fight for something, to feel uncertainty, and to rise after falling. Courage born from adversity is not just physical or emotional. It's moral. It's the courage to stand up for what's right, even when it's unpopular or risky. Obama's political career was filled with moments where he had to make tough decisions, knowing they might bring backlash. Yet he stood firm because he believed that courage means doing what's right, not what's easy. Adversity also teaches patience. Success rarely happens on our preferred timeline, and the path is rarely straight. The people who make it are those who stay strong when others give up. Obama's message is that you can't control every situation, but you can control how you respond. Courage is the quiet strength to stay hopeful in the face of uncertainty, to believe that the storm will pass, and to keep moving forward even when you can't see the finish line. True courage is built one challenge at a time, and every obstacle you overcome becomes proof of your power. Through adversity, you don't just survive, you evolve. Purpose is the driving force that gives true meaning to success, and Barack Obama often reminds us that without purpose, achievement feels empty. For him, real success is not measured by money, fame, or status. It's measured by the impact you have on others and the legacy you leave behind. Obama's message is that each of us is capable of contributing something valuable to the world, and that sense of contribution gives life its deeper significance. When your actions are rooted in purpose, every challenge becomes bearable, every setback becomes meaningful, and every victory feels fulfilling. Purpose gives direction to your energy and clarity to your goals. It helps you stay grounded when life gets chaotic because you're not just chasing temporary rewards, you're pursuing something that matters. Obama's own journey is shaped by this idea of purpose-driven living. Long before becoming president, he worked as a community organizer, helping underprivileged neighborhoods in Chicago find their voice. It wasn't glamorous or financially rewarding, but it gave him a sense of fulfillment and belonging that shaped the rest of his career. That early experience taught him that purpose comes from serving something larger than yourself. When you tie your dreams to the betterment of others, your motivation becomes stronger and more resilient. Success then becomes not just personal triumph but collective progress. Obama believes that everyone, no matter their background or profession, can live with purpose by using their talents, time, and influence to uplift others or create positive change in their surroundings. Living with purpose also helps you stay resilient through failure. When you know why you're doing something, the how becomes easier to figure out. You stop being discouraged by temporary losses because you understand that every obstacle is part of your mission. Obama often says that purpose transforms failure into fuel. Instead of feeling defeated by a setback, you see it as a test of your dedication. Purpose helps you focus on the bigger picture. It gives you perspective when things don't go your way. Without it, success can feel hollow and directionless, but with it, even small steps feel significant. It's what turns ordinary work into meaningful contribution and transforms personal ambition into lasting influence. Another powerful idea Obama emphasizes is that purpose connects people. It brings unity, empathy, and hope. When you live for something beyond yourself, you naturally inspire others to do the same. This ripple effect can create entire movements that change societies. That's why Obama often challenges young people to ask themselves not just what do I want to be, but what do I want to contribute? Because in the end, success without service is incomplete. True fulfillment comes from knowing your journey helped someone else rise, that your story gave someone hope, or that your work made life a little better for others. Obama's message is clear. Purpose transforms success into significance. When you live with purpose, your achievements echo far beyond yourself, leaving a legacy that endures long after the applause fades.